Alright, welcome back for round 3 of the Momir Daily here. We get to be on the play again, and we will not be mulliganing. And our opponent seems to be present, so we'll go ahead and get started here with the mountain. And just like last time, we're going to choose to go for 3 instead of 2. Again, I don't generally, I mean the 2s are alright, but typically it doesn't. There's usually no real advantage to it. Discard a card, target creature gets -1/-1 to end of turn. I have an ability that could have an impact later on. I don't think spell shapers are usually pretty bad in Momir Basic because you don't want to be discarding cards. So if he finds a way to draw some extra cards later, yeah, he may use it. Otherwise, it's going to set him back on mana. Return Wizard Mentor and target creature you control to their owner's hands. I don't really see me using this ability. It could come up if our opponent's gonna, gain some life or get some advantage by one of our creatures dying. We may bounce it instead. Alright, this guy's actually pretty good. He has Echo, so he's probably not gonna keep him. He can't keep him next turn, but he's gonna get 2 +1/+1 counters onto this Plague Witch, which is actually kind of annoying. Because our Wizard Mentor was able to beat the Plague Witch. I'm actually going to go ahead and block here, because if I kill the Plague Witch now, then next turn when this dies, he has to put a +1/+1 counter on my creature. So I don't know if he realized that or not, but that's going to work to our advantage here. Because the Moa is not a May. We'll discard the island. So we get a Rebel Belt Raiders that will get a free +1/+1 counter on it. I'm actually pretty okay with that. This guy's pretty good. So it's always going to get a +1/+1 counter when I attack with it, and if I can get some bigger creatures to attack with it, then it's going to get bigger and bigger. And it starting as a 4/4 is even more relevant. So that Hunting Moa is actually pretty good for us. So for this is basically a shade. He does have 2 black mana, so that could come up, and it is a 2/2 flyer. One thing it will probably not do, though, is block my Rebel Belt Raiders, which we are okay with. I'm going to play a Swamp. I might should have made a creature there in case I got a haste creature, but the odds of that are pretty slim, and it's more likely I could have made a creature that would have made combat less favorable for me, so. Now we'll go ahead and make a creature. Discard this forest. Choose one, prevent the next damage that would be dealt to target creature this turn, or gain X life, spend only white mana this way. So we get a 2/3. We don't have any white mana, so it's not going to do much. I'll probably still attack with it, because it will help pump the Rebel Belt Raiders, even if it's going to attack into something that will kill it. Yeah, so, I mean, it's not going to do a whole lot, but by attacking with it, I'll be able to pump my Rebel Belt Raiders, so that actually seems like a logical play. We'll go ahead and make a 6, just in case I get something with haste. Or like, there's a vampire from Innistrad, the Warlord, I think. 3/6 reach is fantastic, because it's going to block this guy. Attack. Get our Rebel Belt Raiders up to a decent size. It cannot be double blocked size. So I'm pretty much just on a pure aggression plan right now because of the Rebel Belt Raiders. Alright, so you got a 5/5 flyer. That's actually pretty good. We do have a reach guy that will help deal with that, but we have a lot of mountains. A fire breather would be fantastic here. Target opponent chooses a permanent he or she controls at random and sacrifices it. If a non-land permanent is sacrificed this way, repeat this process. So our opponent is guaranteed to lose one of his creatures. No, our opponent is guaranteed to lose one of his lands, hopefully several of his creatures in the process. So this guy is actually very good. Oh, and he lost the 5/5 flyer. That actually was fantastic. And it's a 7/7, so this block puts us well above double block range, and he can't even double block to kill this guy, so he has no good blocks here. He's just chump blocking this guy. Our opponent might just be dead next turn, or pretty close to it. Either way, he's still behind on curve, so. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage to each other creature. So Yeah. He would have lost his Chrome Shell Crab, and we would have lost nothing, and then attacked back for the win. So that was a very bad draw for our opponent. Moving on to game 2. We are on the draw, so now we get to start on 2. Mountain, pass. See if our opponent prescribes. Alright, so our opponent is like us and chooses to wait till 3 to make his first creature on the play. Again, I still think that's the better strategy. I don't have any actual testing to back that up. But does damage to target creature player. So if we had a way to generate some extra mana, this guy would be pretty good. In the early game, though, he's not going to be accomplishing a whole lot, because I'm not going to be wasting mana on that guy. Flanking. For those of you who don't know, flanking means when this creature attacks, if it's blocked by a creature without flanking, the blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So we will not ever be blocking this guy with this guy, because it would just die before I would even get a chance to kill it. We get Moonlight Geist, a 2/1 flyer. That is relevant because it flies. So I think I mentioned earlier in one of the rounds that flyers are just so fantastic in this format because they are so hard to deal with. When it dies, you may have target creature get -2/-2 till end of turn. Well, that would be bad because it would kill our Moonlight Geist. If we have no creatures in play, of course our opponent has to turn it around on himself, but I would rather not be in a situation where I have no creatures in play, especially in this format. We get a 3/4. That seems fine. 3/4 blocks this guy, and we're gonna let this guy through because we don't want to we don't want him to kill our flyer. Okay. Opponent gets Nath's Elite. If you win, alright, well, obviously the clash is going to be land, so he doesn't get the +2/+2, or the +1/+1 counter put on top, that's fine. But a 4/2 that has to be blocked by every creature could be pretty annoying, because he can kill our Southern Elephant. No, I don't see a reason to block here. 2 damage isn't gonna... 2 damage is fine. We're gonna swing back for 2 anyway, so... Okay, now I bet he doesn't attack with this guy. Towering Champion's really good. It's first strike, and whenever it blocks a creature, that creature loses first strike. So this guy's always going to have first strike. He's actually pretty good on defense, especially with this guy. So I'm still not blocking this guy because it will just kill my flyer. If I end up with another flyer or... So this guy's alright. He's not going to be able to pay the upkeep, so it's going to die next turn. In response, he's going to kill one of my lands, but I'm going to make him sacrifice one of his lands. So it'll keep us on parity. One of us will have to skip a play if we want to get to 8. But that's probably going to be okay. Skipping a turn would actually be really good with this guy, so that's probably what I'll do when this guy on the next turn, depending on what I hit here. Amplify. I cannot reveal any beasts, so he stays a 4/4, and we attack with this guy. I'm really kind of surprised our opponent didn't attack with this last turn as a way to try to get us to block and kill our flyer. So if our opponent is smart, he is tapping. Yeah. So we lose a land. Our opponent will not be paying the upkeep on this. We're going to make him sack his mountain. Chances are, next turn, I'm going to... Oh, it taps it. Well, this just got interesting. Regenerate, okay. So now that changes things. I really want to kind of deal with this guy now. Green creatures you control have trample. Not accomplishing a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. He doesn't have his third swamp, so if he ever gets a third swamp, this is very bad for us. Oh, it's irrelevant because he'll never get a third swamp. I'll just make him sacrifice them all. So actually, with us having a flyer, this might work in our favor, because we're going to slowly be making smaller and smaller creatures, and unless he gets something that deals with this guy, we may just be able to win with this guy. And having this guy to block whatever he attacks with is fine. Although we do need to kill this guy so that we don't get alpha striked out of the game, because everything would have to block him. So it's almost, depending on what he gets here. Why would he not? Oh, regeneration. Okay. That's bad. Well, I mean, we're just going to block because we have first strike. So I don't know why he made that attack. As opposed to holding this guy back and holding up the 1 mana to block my flyer. Oh, sack a creature regenerate. Missed that. This is what I get for not paying attention. Although him killing the Hydra actually was very bad, because I could have killed this guy with the Hydra. So it's not too bad. We're still in pretty good shape here. So let's see. Gonna make a 6-drop, hopefully a good one. That's a good one. We'll be gaining control of this guy next turn. That's fantastic. What does he have? Indestructible, so we don't want to attack into that actually. So yeah, we'll just attack with the flyer then. Okay, you're gonna lose your, what does this guy get for white? Vigilance. So we're gonna kill the plains here since there's no way for him to make triple black next turn. The fact that this guy's gonna steal this guy is actually very relevant. Sacrifice, gorilla, target creature gets -3/-3 on the turn, draw a card. Okay, he's probably going to use this ability next turn, I would imagine. That's a pretty good ability. That would allow him to get up a land on us. But I'm thinking that when we steal this guy, when this guy steals this guy, that's going to put us pretty far ahead with all of our flyers. So. And he doesn't have the ability to use it right now, and he can't sack this guy to this guy this turn. So this is actually a pretty good turn for us. Yeah. So he conceded. He realized. I guess he probably realized what was going to happen when this guy attacked and stole his gargoyle. So, and then I'd have all the flyers. So, all right, round 3 went in our favor. So I will see you guys back here for the last round. Hopefully we'll win and get some prize out of this. So see you guys then.